Hello, this is going to be our first tutorial, and I'm going to show you how we start by creating a new project. We just click on the new project. We use a template which is a Archicad 19 template, and we set up work environment to be standard profile 19. Then we click on new, wait for the project to open, we give it some minutes. Okay, after it has opened, we start by looking at the interface, the working environment that is on our display. We start by trying to understand the components of Archicad. First of all, on this side there is design, documents, and more. Under design, we have the walling, doors, windows, column, beam, slab, stair, roof, shell, and the rest. Under the document, we have dimension, level, text, label, fill, line, and the rest. Under more, we have grid line, we have wall end, corner, lamp, radial, angle, and the rest. So we start by trying to understand the basics of Archicad. That is the wall settings. So we start by first of all making sure that we click on the arrow, we delete whatever that is on the screen. Okay, then we do our wall settings. Under wall top, we use not linked. We click on this type of wall. This type of wall is the one that we are going to use mostly in our design. We choose maybe, let's say, brick type of wall, and the height to be 2400, height of the walling, and we choose our services, the outer service, edge service, and inside service, and then we can link the services so that they may appear to be they may be uniform. Let's say we use stuck white rough, and we link it so that all the services can appear to be stuck white rough. And we say no. Then we do the wall thickness, let us use 200. Then we click OK. That is the basics of the basic wall settings that we're going to use onwards. And when we come to doors, let us use this type of door, which is door 19, of course. Under the settings, we use under preview 900 to 100. Here we adjust to 0. Under the settings, hinged doors, we find that the first settings, we don't touch anything there, let them be constant. We proceed to door leaf. We choose even this type of door. Handle, we can choose even this type of handle. Then we proceed next. Under this section, we can choose to click on this so that we remove the opening lines. We override opening lines. We are done with it. We proceed. Under frame and leaf services, we can choose uniform door surfaces. We click and we choose mahogany. We proceed. We can just proceed with other settings. We're done with this part of visit door settings. We proceed to dimension maker. We do basic window door skylight maker. We click on it. We change to 1.2. We can choose to change the pen to be black. We are done with it. Under tags and categories, under ID, we choose to type PV. Then we are done. Let's say we are done with our first door settings. We can proceed to window settings, some basic window settings. We can just maintain window 19, basic window 19. We start by preview and positioning, 900. No, we say maybe 1500 by 1500. See, height is 900, so that when we add this and this, it adds up to 2400. We can choose to close that one and proceed to basic window settings. Under basic window settings, we can choose to do some settings. We can say uniform frame width. We proceed to shutter type. We can choose maybe this one, and we say maybe 4. We proceed. We can choose to remove opening lines. Then we proceed. Under uniform window services, we can choose maybe mahogany, just for example. So we can proceed to dimension maker, as obvious. Choose that one, 1.2. We choose the black one, and we close. Under tags and categories, we choose PV. Then we can say we are done. So to start with, we want to draw just a four-sided house that is just like maybe a class or something very small. So we just click on our walling, we click on the surface on our working environment. Then we can line our wall to the grid. So we make sure that when our angle here is 0, 0, and so that it enables us to put our distance, maybe let's say 8,000, and maybe we come down, make sure the angle is 90 so that it is perpendicular to our first wall, and we input the distance to be 4,000. We click OK. Then we can click on this, and holding the shift key to make sure that the angle does not change, it remains horizontal. We can bring our pointer to the top of this one and click, and we can join the walling by just clicking on the surface and joining to the other one. Okay, so we have something like this. We can then click on our door. We can place our door somewhere around here, and maybe to open towards inside, and we can drag it by clicking on this drag icon and move it to the corner. We can also click on the window. We can place the window anywhere, here, or just here, or just here, or just here. We can align the window by clicking on one of the edges and moving it alongside, so that we can have it aligned to the other one. We can align this one also to this one. So if we try to right click and show all in 3D, we will just find out something like this. Okay, walling with windows. Okay, let us proceed. We can do some basic slab setting. That is, we use this one, this type of slab. That is the structural basic. We use maybe 150. Yeah, and we can click on these services so that maybe we have all the services to be uniform. But let's say we use the services to have maybe floorboards. You can just link so that you can just proceed as fast as quick, but we can just change them as we proceed. We click OK. We can click on this. This one provides us to click on the edges of the corners of the walling one by one, or we can just choose to use the other one, this one, which provides us to just make it very simple like this. Okay, so we have our slab. We can offset our slab so that we may have a veranda of maybe 400. Something like that. If you right click and see what's happening, you find out something like this. Okay, so as of now we have just made a very simple walling together with the slab. We can also proceed and do some settings on the story section. We right click in story settings. We can choose to do the first story setting to be 2400. That's the wall height to the beam. From the beam, let's say a beam of 250, and we have a walling of 350. So that if we add all these, they add up to 2700. Not 2700, but we can just do a beam of 250, no, a beam of 300, for example. Okay, so that we have a beam here, and we have our roof here. Okay, so that if we add this and this to be 2700, and our roof, we can just maybe say cannot go far more than 2100. Our king post may not go far off that. So we can proceed by clicking on the beam. Because we cannot be able to see what is underneath, we click on tracing. This provides us to make sure that our cursor, or just we have just clicked on below story settings, so that we can be able to see what's underneath this story. We can proceed to beam settings. We double click on the beam settings. Our beams to be 300. Okay, because our walling is 200, so the center is going to be 100. Okay, from it is going to be 0 from because our beam is going to start from 0 in the first under this section. It's going to start from 0. We are not going to elevate it anymore. Then we open up the settings of this beam services. Okay, it's going to be uniform. We link it. Then we can say okay. Then we can draw our beam. No. We were supposed to. Let me see. Let me see. We were supposed to do some settings. Beam 0, 300. The beam height is 300. Yeah, we're supposed to also indicate that it is 300 above this level. Okay, and our width is going to be 200, and our center line is going to be 100, something like that. Then we say okay. Then we proceed by okay. It's not okay. It is now very okay. This is going to be our beam. We are done with the beam. We can proceed with the roof. We can be able to see the beam now underneath because tracing is on. Then we double click on the roof. We do some basic settings on the roof. It is going to start from 0. We use this type of roof. Let's say 200, the thickness of the roof. Let's say the angle to be 30, and our edges to be straight, and our eaves to be 600, and our services, maybe let's turn them on. The top service to be maybe green, the fascia side to be, let's say white. Yeah, we're done. You can say just okay and proceed. We click on this service on this edge, make sure that we have this type of roof and this one is on. Then it allows us to make or just to draw complex roof services. After we have something like this, we can just right click and say we are done. Then we right click and see what we have drawn in 3D. We have something like this. I think for today you can just practice that, and we are going to proceed from there next time with more complicated drawings once we understand the basic settings.